What is going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as XRP to US dollar. We're also going to be looking at the current coin market cap, like you can see I have pulled up currently. We will be refreshing this just really quickly. We'll also be looking at the current market. As you guys know, yesterday I made a very interesting video. It was in regard to this massive uptrend that we were having, followed by a strong resistance up at the top. And you'll notice as we started to slowly climb up this uptrend, we hit the resistance and we did pretty much exactly what's expected. Now, obviously we had either direction to go, whether it was going to shoot us up or whether or not we were going to correct back to the downside. We did ultimately today figure out which way that was going to happen. The great part about everything is we were able to track the specific timing that it happened. And that's pretty much the main thing here on the channel, is figuring out the timing of certain movements and then being able to act accordingly, whether or not we're going to be buying in, leveraging long, or leveraging for a short position. Ultimately, knowing when the position is opening and when that move is going to happen is going to put us one step ahead of everybody else in regards to when we should invest, buy, or sell. Otherwise, if you guys are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and let's jump into today's episode. Once again, huge shout out to everybody who is subscribed to the channel. We just broke 13.2k subscribers, on our way to the 20,000 subscriber goal that we have set for, the year. Hopefully we can hit that much quicker. That's the goal, but honestly, it's amazing having everybody subscribed and watching the videos. Now, I do just want to jump straight into the technical analysis. As you guys can see on the current coin market cap, majority of the cryptocurrencies are down 3 to 15%. For the most part, I'd say an average of 5%. But you can see that we had consolidation and sideways movement for about 2 to 3 days. On the 4-hour, you can see it was definitely within the first day yesterday, and now we can see which direction we've decided to break, and we decided to break downwards as somewhat anticipated, as we were hitting a very strong resistance on the upside, and now we're starting to correct lower. Now, this is honestly a very good thing, and it is much needed within the markets, as I will continue to discuss in a second. What this is basically doing is opening us up a position to head up higher. Now, I know a lot of you guys are thinking, well, we broke bearish and that's a bad thing, and now where are we going to be heading to? This is only a small dip. This brought us from a position of 63 on the RSI all the way down to 53 on the RSI, giving us a much better position to break even higher come the next couple of days. Now, notice when we were hitting this support right here and then we traveled up higher, we did have a small correction and a small dip lower, which set us up for the next bull run that we had immediately after. So notice over here what we were experiencing right around this area, April 14th of 2019, we had a couple of days of pretty much just hovering up at this resistance right here, hovering up at the overbought line, and eventually we fell. We broke bearish, retesting bottom support right here at around $5,000, and then we gained enough support and head right back up immediately after. So notice with that, we can consider a couple of things. We fell from 70 to all the way around 55 on the RSI, pretty much exactly where we are currently. So by hitting this resistance, we fell ultimately right back down. Now, yes, we were above the high-low MMA, and we are currently retesting this as a support. And notice back in the past, you do reference that every time we did hit the support, we tend to have immediately corrected back up. This is actually the first time we've been above the resistance in quite some time. We've really not really trended above here since, I would say, all the way back in March of 2019. Yes, we did have some pulls where we did get above here when we fell below, but it was only to trend inside of here and then eventually to fall back down. But another thing I want you guys to notice is when you look at the daily high-low MMA, you can see there is a chance of us seeing that bullish crossover right here. Now, yes, on the MACD, we are having a bearish cross, but that's only a temporary short-term thing due to this movement here. But with this coming very, very, very close, there's a very high chance we're going to see the green band eventually cross over the red, signaling a bullish move. We can verify this or confirm this by checking out previous history of when we saw that bullish cross, and I believe it was back down here. So notice last time we were, in that green, we had the green below the red band, and eventually we crossed right over here, ultimately signaling the bullish movement that lasted for months. Now, ultimately, we're looking for that same thing to happen. It's been ever since then, which was all the way back in 2019, so about a year now of sideways movement, or a little less, maybe 8 to 9 months. This is going to be the second cross that we're going to experience, which could ultimately lead to a bullish market as we head up higher. Now, yes, we did break the confirmation, and we are starting to correct back down. This is only on the Bitcoin chart. We can and will reference other cryptocurrencies, Litecoin, Ethereum, and XRP, to pretty much gather which direction we're going to continue to head. And I know a lot of other YouTubers are definitely confused in the space right now because yes, we're in an immediate uptrend, and I do think and do still believe that we're in a long-term bull market that we've entered, but I do anticipate a small correction to the downside. As towards where that is, it's hard to say. Very good chance we're probably just going to bounce off the $8,000 support on Bitcoin and then immediately correct to the upside. But we will confirm this by looking at the other cryptocurrencies in a second. Honestly, we are still bullish on the weekly. So in regards to a long-term hold, that's probably what I'm going to do. I'm most definitely going to be buying long on my Bitcoin DueDEX account right here for Bitcoin specifically. So if you guys want to join me in this, definitely make sure to check out the first link in the description. This will bring you on DueDEX and we will be putting in a position. I believe by next video, I will be buying long, showing you guys the actual way of doing that with a leverage trade over here, and then eventually, you know, showing the long-term history and tracking the coin as we go along. This you can consider being a guinea pig on the account, but I know a lot of you are taking advantage of this already, so I am going to be putting in my position very soon. With that retestment of the support, very high chance we're going to be shooting up. Now, I do want to show you guys a couple other things. Ethereum or XRP is the one that gives me somewhat of a concern. We broke bearish, falling outside of not only a resistance at 23 cents, but the high-low MMA, ultimately correcting back down and regaining support from the downtrend right here. This is quite interesting, mainly because we really haven't been trending above here in quite some time. Did not mean to draw that. But ultimately, when you look at the market, we really just broke directly through it. There was no areas where we were pretty much just trending on top of it. You can see right here, there was no movements above. But the fact that we're so low right now and we got rejected, there's a very high chance we can continue to just trend below here. So movements like this could be definitely a possibility before breaking upwards. The fact that we got rejected from the RSI on the high-low MMA on this chart here does give me reason to believe there's a chance we could see some lower levels being moved. This could be acting independently from the rest of the market. As you guys know, Litecoin coming right back down to retest support. And same thing goes with Ethereum, falling right back down to retest support. And this does honestly seem like there is an uptrend here too that we are in support with. When you look at this, it doesn't show us that we've broken bearish, and there's a very high chance we can continue to head up right now. So I am honestly going to be putting in a buying long position for a couple of reasons. We retested, overbought, we corrected back down, and we're still on an uptrend right here within Ethereum. So there's a very, very, very high chance by using these supports, we're going to continue to climb up here somewhere along the lines, similar to what I just drew. You can see on Litecoin, same thing, kind of. Here, I mean, we could move this back down. I more or less consider it like this. We broke bearish from here, retesting support, but there's still more and more chances of us breaking bullish. You can see back in the past, it's literally every time we had the immediate correction to the downside, we were able to pump up higher. And the fact is, we did ultimately break bearish from, or we broke bullish from the descending fractal, ultimately should send us higher. Very shocked if we had lower. Ultimately, you guys know on Bitcoin, my main reasoning for seeing a bearish movement is basically due to the fact that we're still setting these lower highs. You can see this is the previous one in June. We had one in July. We had one in August, pretty much every month, September, October, and then I would ignore this part. And then this would be the 17th. This could be the new one in January. Would I consider this to be previous low? It's possible. This does look like it broke the previous one. I'm still referencing the 9,700 where we retested and then broke down from as the previous one, but we were hitting resistance right here. This is a resistance, but you can see based off the previous movements, there's a high chance we're going to continue to head up. Ultimately, the lowest I could see the coin falling to is maybe down to the $7,600 resistance before, or support, before immediately correcting back up. So if you're buying long, I think you're in a good position. We're still retesting the high-low MMA. There's a chance we may not break below here. But honestly, the markets are very mixed right now. A lot of difference in opinions all around the charts. The fact is we are pulling back down. And honestly, if you plan on buying long with Bitcoin, I think go for it. I think these are great levels and great prices. And I do think we're not going to be retesting these levels anytime soon. I think we've pretty much cleared the market of levels as low as $6,000. I'd be shocked if we just immediately corrected back down in here. That still is a possibility. I mean, we did break through two resistances here, which do signify that we should be in a bull market, but there is still a chance we could break down inside of here and just correct here, it wouldn't look, that odd if we did see that movement to the downside. Obviously, make sure to have your stop losses set, but the markets are very weird. Ultimately, what I'm waiting for is either a confirmation of an uptrend move, or are we going to retest support and then bounce up off of here? Honestly, anywhere of a retest of this support line, I would ultimately consider being a buy opportunity, a long with leverage trade. Basically, if we did fall back down to 75, another $1,000 off the market, very high chance we're going to hit oversold on Bitcoin's daily charts, and that would basically be an ultimate indicator for another spike to the upside. Otherwise, that's going to wrap up today's video, guys. If you're new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.